Besides being mentor and mentee, Eminem and 50 Cent are best friends. They have backed each other up in various situations, including award ceremonies. And feuds, speaking of feuds, 50 and Eminem are some of the most disrespectful.
I hate to stir it up, but Afrojack has been talking shit about you. Anything you want to say? Who? Afrojack? Who? That's what I thought. Thank you.
Don't what's up me, you sucker. Don't what's up me, you sucker. I should black.
There are no strangers deaf feuding with other rappers. They have antagonized everyone, whether it's rappers like Ja Rule or former associates like the Game 50. And simply enjoy it. Let's look at some of Eminem's and 50 Cent's wars against other rappers a game in August 2023, Easy Mill. And Eminem dropped a fiery track called Realist, while this marks Mill's big debut. Eminem takes the spotlight with a lyrical attack. Aimed at the game, Eminem isn't just showing off, he's asserting his dominance, declaring himself the greatest and challenging anyone to contest his throne. Eminem rap all the NES rappers I torch if I'm on a joint with them. And that is the only retort is I'm not played in clubs, motherfucker. Put a cork in it. Only reason they still play you in clubs is because you still performing. Eminem targets the game in response to the game's claim that Eminem's music isn't played in clubs, as mentioned in the game's 10-minute diss song Black Slim Shady. The origin of this feud began with 50 Cent and G-Unit. It all began when the game caught the attention of Dr. Dre, recognizing his immense talent and potential. Dr. Dre saw an opportunity to boost the game's presence in the industry and decided to place him in Gun It, the rap group led by 50 Cent. This move was intended to provide the game with the platform he needed to launch his debut album and establish himself. The game's inclusion in Gun It was met with mixed reaction. Some saw it as a strategic move to elevate his career, while others viewed it as an attempt to capitalize on his association with 50 Cent. Regardless of the initial perceptions, the game's affiliation with Gun It brought him into the orbit of two of the biggest names in hip-hop, 50 Cent and M. As the game's debut album, the documentary, hit the show, it became clear that his talent was undeniable. The album received critical acclaim and commercial success. Tracks like How We Do and Hate It or Love It became instant classics, showcasing the game's lyrical prowess and captivating storytelling ability. However, as the success of the documentary soared, tensions began to simmer beneath the surface. The dynamic between the game and 50 Cent started to reveal cracks. It was during the filming of the music video for Hate It or Love It that the first signs of discord emerged. Reports surfaced that 50 Cent refused to sit next to Game in a car during the shoot, sparking rumors of a growing rift between the two artists. While the exact reason for this disagreement remains unclear, it marked the beginning of a series of conflicts that would escalate over time. Despite the tensions on set, the music video for Hate It or Love It was released to critical acclaim. The turning point came during a radio interview when 50 Cent publicly announced that the game was no longer a part of Gun It. Following the radio interview, tensions reached a boiling point when the game attempted to enter the radio station building. A scuffle broke out, and amidst the chaos, shots were fired. In the aftermath of the shooting, both sides attempted to downplay the incident and diffuse the tension. A public reconciliation was announced in March 2005, with both the game and 50 Cent expressing their desire to lay their beef to rest. However, the peace treaty was short-lived. The game's departure from Gun It was met with criticism from the group, who questioned his street credibility and loyalty. This criticism fueled the game's determination to prove himself and defend his reputation. He took to the studio and released a scathing diss track titled 300 Bars and Running, igniting a firestorm of diss tracks between him and 50 Cent. The feud between the game and 50 Cent quickly escalated, with each artist releasing a barrage of diss tracks aimed at tearing down the other. The rap industry was captivated by the lyrical warfare as fans took sides in a conflict. In 2006, the game expressed a desire to reconcile with 50 Cent, extending an olive branch in an attempt to mend their fractured relationship. However, 50 Cent remained silent, refusing to engage in any form of reconciliation. The intensity of the conflict was unparalleled, with over 100 diss tracks fueling the fire and keeping the feud alive. In 2010, the game reached out to 50 Cent on Twitter, publicly asking him to end the feud and put an end to the animosity between them. However, his plea fell on deaf ears, as there was no response from 50 Cent. Despite the lack of response from 50 Cent, the game continued to pursue peace and put an end to the ongoing conflict. However, his efforts were met with resistance as 50 Cent reignited the beef with new music. In 2012, the game even initiated a petition for a unit reunion, hoping to mend the broken bonds and reunite the group. However, his efforts were unsuccessful as Gun It rejected the idea, making it clear that they were moving forward without the game in 2016 Gunnet. Reunited without the game at the Summer Jam concert, further solidifying their stance, and leaving the game on the outside looking in 2022. 50 Cent called out the game for taking a picture with Lloyd Banks, questioning the intentions behind the photo. The game, however, appeared to squash the beef, publicly stating that the past feud was over and that he had no issues with 50 Cent as tensions between the game and 50 Cent grew. Another conflict emerged between the game and Eminem. The game targeted Eminem in a diss track called The Black. Slim Shady in the song The Game attacked Eminem. 50 Cent, Drive Dre, and even Eminem's daughter. The lyrics were harsh, criticizing Eminem's personal life, career, and reputation, aiming to provoke a response and start a war. Words of release of The Black. Slim Shady generated mixed reactions from rap fans and social media users. Some praised the game's boldness and Eichel prowess, applauding his willingness to take on one of the greatest rappers of all time. Others criticized the track, viewing it as a desperate attempt to gain attention and relevance. The diss track sparked a flurry of discussions and debates within the hip-hop community. Fans took sides, with some defending Eminem and others rallying behind the game. Social media platforms were abuzz with heated arguments and passionate defenses of their favorite artists. While the diss track undoubtedly caused a stir, it also raised questions about the game's motivations. Why did he choose to come at Eminem? What were his reasons for targeting one of the most respected figures in the industry? One significant event that may have contributed to the tension between the game and Eminem was the Super Bowl 56 halftime show on February 13th. 2021. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Eminem performed at the highly anticipated event. However, the game was notably absent from the lineup despite his close association with Dr. Dre and his contributions to the West Coast rap. Seeing the game's exclusion from the Super Bowl halftime show left a bitter taste in his mouth. He expressed his disappointment and frustration on social media, reposting Instagram stories that questioned why he wasn't included in the celebration of La Hip Hop. The game believed that as a representative of the West Coast rap scene, he should have been given the opportunity to perform alongside Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg during an episode of the I Am Athlete podcast. The game opened up about his feelings of being left out of the Super Bowl halftime show. He admitted that he was hurt by the omission, attributing it to being perceived as a non-safe artist who could potentially cause controversy during a live performance.
The real reason I wasn't on the Super Bowl is because I'm not a safe artist. So it's just like, he's not safe, so they went with the safe.
The game felt that his authenticity and rawness were being overlooked in favor of more safe artists. In March 2022, the game appeared on Drink Champs with No and DJF, where he made controversial statements about Eminem and Dre. He claimed that Kanye West had done more for his career recently than Dr. Dre ever did. During the same interview, the game boldly proclaimed himself better than Eminem and expressed his willingness to go up against him in a Vu's battle. He challenged the notion that Eminem was superior and called for a showdown to settle the debate once and for all, despite the social media backlash that followed his comments on Drink Champs. The game didn't back down. In an Instagram video shared shortly after the interview, the game doubled down on his claims of being better than Slim Shady. He acknowledged that people may have different opinions, but firmly stated that he believed himself to be the superior rap of the game, even proposed a rap battle or collaboration to prove his point. Will the game's dispute with Eminem and 50 Cent end, or will it keep going? Only time will tell. Nick Cannon. In the late 2000s, rumors began to swirl in the music industry about a romantic relationship between Eminem and Mariah Carey. At first, Carey denied these rumors, but Eminem seemed to confirm them in his song Bagpipes from Baghdad from his album Relapse. In this track, Eminem not only addressed his past relationship with Carey, but also took shots at Nick Cannon, who was married to Carey at the time. Eminem's lyrics were explicit and direct, leaving no room for interpretation. He rapped Mariah, "Whatever happened to us? Why did we have to break up?" before adding, "Nick Cannon better back you up. I'm not playing, I want to back you, punk." He didn't stop there, continuing with, "Nick, you had your fun. I've come to kick you in your sack of junk." These provocative lyrics didn't sit well with Cannon, who quickly fired back with a threat to sue Eminem. In a now deleted Tumblr post, Cannon wrote, "I don't know why. No one has stood up to you yet, but I guess it's going to take a corny whack rapping boy toy from Nickelodeon to set you straight. And trust, I'm going to be relentless, even though I got a lot of other obligations and occupations. You are my new full-time job, homie." The feud didn't stop with Cannon's response. Mariah Carey herself seemed to hit back at Eminem with her song Obsessed in the music video. Carey even dressed up like Eminem, further fueling the fire between the two artists over the 10 years. that followed the feud between Eminem and Nick Cannon seemed to slow down. However, it resurfaced in September 2019 when Cannon appeared on T.I.'s podcast XP. Justly during the podcast, Cannon recalled a moment when he and Eminem were flying back on a jet from Africa or somewhere, and Eminem dropped a song talking bad about Mariah Cannon. Feeling protective of his wife, wrote a long letter to Eminem expressing his respect for him as an artist, but also holding him accountable for his disrespectful words too. Most Cannon's comments were seen as civilized and mature, but to Eminem, they were fighting words. Eminem returned to music, once again to send yet another message to the America's Got Talent host this time. He chose to do it through a verse on Fat Joe's song Lord Above. In this verse, Eminem rapped, "I know me," and Mariah did it on a high note. But that other dude's whip that got him neuter tried to tell him this chick's a nut job before he got his. Jules' clip almost got my caboose kicked, fool. "Quit you're not gonna do, I let her chop my off too before I lose to you," Nick Cannon took to Instagram to respond, writing Fat Joe album is star-studded. He even did some charity work and dug Eminem out his cave. He then invited Eminem to come out and play on his MTV show Wild, and out Cannon later released his own diss track titled Invitation, where he didn't hold back. He rap called Kim somebody get Haley. "And that other kid you raising that ain't even your baby, my baby mama. Killed you off a decade ago, you're still crying about it now." Who really the public reactions to the feud were divided. Some applauded Cannon for standing up for his wife and not backing down from Eminem's verbal assaults. They admired his courage and appreciated his efforts to defend his family's honor others. However, criticized Cannon for perpetuating the feud, arguing that it was time to let go of the past and move on. The media also played a significant role in amplifying the feud. Tabloids and entertainment news outlets covered every twist and turn, sensationalizing the conflict and adding fuel to the fire. Headlines screamed with provocative statements, and fans eagerly consumed every piece of news, hungry for more details about the war.